Hello and welcome everyone. Let's talk about Bitcoin. When is the best time to buy Bitcoin and when is the best time to sell Bitcoin? The bull market has just ended, or actually it has ended for about a year. And all these big channels out there has been fooling all of us, all the retail people, saying that this time around the cycle of Bitcoin is going to be longer. We're going to have a longer bull market, and everybody's going to become rich and all that. That's all bull crap, guys. Here's myself, Juliano, and Issa. We're going to talk about when you should buy, when you should sell. I'm not telling you how you should do, but that's how we are doing. All right, Issa, welcome.
Hey, Giuliano. Yeah, Bitcoin, it's always in cycles, and people think that this time's different, but it's not. And Giuliano's going to show you what happens with those happenings and how these charts work in 4-year patterns. So go ahead, Giuliano.
All right, guys. So I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to show it to you. What we are seeing on the charts, right? So the number one thing I want you to get from this video is that there is never a hope, right? So if hope has crossed your mind, guys, that is time to sell, right? The word hope does not exist in trading, does not exist in investing, right? So you need to have a plan when to enter, when to exit, right? And what is price telling you, all right? So this is Bitcoin, and so let's look at the monthly return for Bitcoin ever since it has launched, right? So you can see here that the Bitcoin has a 4-year cycle and has particular dates when it kind of goes into halving, right? So Bitcoin has these halving cycles, which every halving, the block reward kind of gets cut in half. Basically, the miners get, half of the rewards they were getting in the previous cycle. So why is that important? Because there's less rewards, so there's less interest there, right? But still Bitcoin is like the digital gold, right? So if we take a look at what's happening here on the charts, right? This is right here. We are in 2022, right? You can see here that it has been ugly. The market's dumping, stock market's dumping, Bitcoin is dumping, Are they related? Most likely not, because Bitcoin has its cycle, but they do have an impact on each other, right? So here's on the last time around after the halving, right? 2018, there was about 100% decrease, right? 100% loss during 2018. Let's take a look at 2014 again. Every 4 years, that's the Bitcoin cycle. It was another ugly year. It was 64%, all right, that was lost, right? So if we take a look at Bitcoin chart, okay, this is what the Bitcoin chart looks like since its injection. So if you take a look at the monthly return here, so it has the dates of every time the halving happens, right? So when is the best time to sell? When is the best time to buy? So you can see here that I have pretty much written down on the chart here when the halving started, November 2012, July 2016, May 2020, and then May 2024. Is it going to happen again? It's most likely will. We're probably going to have another nice move. But you can see here that if you were to buy, during the halving time and hold it, for about 1 year, let's take a look at your gains, right? So the first halving, right, is the first time the asset just became, popular. That's the one that we're going to gain the most, right? You can see here that we're talking about a 10,000% gain on the first halving, right? On the second halving here is we can see that it's a little bit less. So you can see here that it has been cut by half. So 5,000%, roughly 5 to 6,000% on the second halving. And then if we take a look at the third halving, which is the one we are in right now, so is this the top? Yes. The bull market is over, guys. If you can look at the altcoins out there, there's altcoins that have just dropped, ugly, like more than 5 to 10,000%. So if you tell me that we're still in a bull market, you're hoping for something that doesn't exist, or if it is, to me that's going to be the worst bull market ever, right? But you can see here that from the halving to the top here, we're talking about 800%, right? So we had first halving 10,000, second halving about 5,000, and then the third halving we're having about 800 to 900% growth on Bitcoin, right? So if you bought at the halving and you held for about a year, right? So when is the best time to actually buy? Now you're talking about during the halving, or you want to start accumulating at least after the ugly years. Which are the ugly years? So talking about your 2014, 2018, and 2022. This year is supposed to be not very good, right? Because everybody already made millions, and the news are already out there. The big whales, institution, are already taking profit. So 2022 does not look good at all. So one thing I'm looking at, and I learned from the previous hobby, is that you want to have reserves. You want to have cash, guys. Cash is king. You know, everybody talking about inflation and all that crap. Yeah, great, but cash is still king, right? 2022 not so good. 2023 is probably a very good year for us to start accumulating, right? Isa, what is your thoughts?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that we need to look at technical patterns, we need to look at cycles, and we need to look at volume when it does come in. So in 2023, we're probably going to start seeing that cycle go up again after the 2022 crash, which is happening now. And I'll go ahead and share my screen too, Juliana, so we can take a look at some of these patterns that I'm talking about. Okay. Oops. Actually, it's not letting me share my screen for some reason, but basically, right now I was trying to talk about the head and pattern shoulder that's happening on the weekly. Giuliano, can you pull that one up?
I'll pull that up right now. So guys, in this channel, we talk about patterns, right? Why patterns are so reliable, right? So if we're talking about over here, there's two things that is happening right now, okay? So let's take a look at it over here. This is still the monthly, the weekly chart over here of Bitcoin. You can see here that we have this double top, right? So double top on the weekly over here, right? And it's also followed by a
the head and shoulder right there on the
shoulders.
right.
Okay, look at that, guys. This is still very much like it, right? So take it away, Isa.
So that head and shoulder on the right, if you can see, it's actually starting to break down. And once that breakdown happens, you're going to look for a measured move all the way to about close to, I'd say, 19, 20,000. And when it does happen to hit that 19, 20,000 mark, we're going to be hitting the 200-day moving average, which is usually where bulls will capitulate and everyone will say, I'm done with this, I'm out. So right now we're breaking down, and that breakdown is going to take us to the bottom of that trend line. So it may take a few months. This is a weekly pattern, so it does take a long time, but it is something that has a little more credibility to it when it does have a longer time frame. So what I'm seeing is a breakdown, and I'm seeing a continuous pattern that's going down. I'm going to be looking at that trend line that Giuliano did draw, and once it does break out above that, that's when I'll be getting in. But until that point, I'm just completely bearish. And we've been saying it on this channel for months. We've been waiting for these breakdowns to happen, and they're finally starting to happen. So you can see that we're no longer going to have a sideways consolidation. We're going to have a breakdown, and that is going to be very apparent soon. So a lot of people are going to be capitulating once we do reach that 19,000 mark.
That's perfectly correct. I cannot agree anymore. What we've seen over here, the news tell us, guys, you have to go around and you see, when is this bull market ending? When you see people out there. So here's what I want to show you guys. So this is what happened in 2017, right? So this is the news right before the market crashed, December 4th, 2017. You're talking about the Winklevoss, twins have become the world's first Bitcoin billionaires. You start seeing all this news, that people get excited. Oh my gosh, I'm a millionaire. These people are millionaires. I'm going to become a millionaire myself. This is what happened right after the news. So right here, 2017 over here. Basically, the market crashed, right after that. Over here, what kind of news were happening around this time? Well, let's take a look at what was going on around here, guys. This is the news that was going on around. So this is September. So this is some data that came in September. But, we're talking about April time frame when the market was already at extreme high, right? So why millennials are quitting their jobs to become crypto day traders? You seen everywhere. I'm on the taxi driver, I'm on a cab, right? I'm on a taxi ride, and this taxi driver is telling me how everybody that has gone into his taxi is talking about crypto and how they're becoming rich about crypto and how their grandpas, their grandmas, their aunts, their cousins, everybody's doing the same. When you start hearing these things, you need to be cautious. What that tell us is, I'm not sure about you, but I heard that about 3 or 4 times already. There are cycles, right? So the real estate crash in 2008, everybody had 3 or 4 houses on a 7-year, interest-only loan. You start worrying, think about it. People never had a house, now they have 3 or 4. You kind of eat your head, right? This time, millionaires quitting their jobs. What has just happened? The whales, the institutions has got into the masses. Now, we only have like, $1,000, $100,000, right? These institutions have millions and not billions of dollars. So they need somebody to sell. So they need to, pull us in all so that they can sell it. And this is what happened here in 2017. We had this, you can see here that the millennials, were quitting their jobs. People were quitting their jobs to start trading, think that they are, invincible, right? And they were just taken in by the whales, right? What's happening right now, right? You can see that there's just there's no more speculators to bring this market to the top, right? Robinhood, another, exchange, that got into crypto, right? Lay off 9%. That's about 300 employees from their crypto department. That there are no more crypto traders, so they're not making any more money, right? Coinbase, I look at Coinbase. This is one of the only exchange that have gone public, right? He had a top here in November last year from $300, and now he's trading at $83, right? Basically, I don't know what to say, guys, but if you think that there is still a bull market out there, I think you should look around, right? I seen these guys here, Bitboy Crypto and JR Crypto, right? I've been watching this guy, and I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'm also induced into, I was also, I got into this world where we would only go up, but I had my reserves. What we want to learn about this bull market is that you want to be cautious, you want to have a plan, right? Because all these channels here, 600,000 subscribers, 1.4 million subscribers. These guys are getting paid to pump. They have some good information out there. I'm not gonna lie, they have some good information, but a lot of their talks about how this market is going to go up forever, and how they're so bullish. Oh, I mean, I don't want to see no bullish. I want to see where do I put my money, where do I exit, and how do I make money. And they were pretty much fooling us.
Yeah, yeah. When people are greedy, you need to get out instead of put everything in. And also, buying the dip is not a great strategy, because it's going to dip further and further. What me and Juliana were talking about was even jumping in and out in short-term time frames, because you can look at those patterns, you can get in, you can get out once it completes. Do not be greedy and just take your money and go and get into the next one. But I think overall, Bitcoin's fundamentals have been growing. They've been getting stronger. In a long-term time frame, I'm extremely bullish on Bitcoin and a lot of other altcoins as well. Um, so it's something that if you do want to learn how to trade these patterns, look at our website, look at our YouTube, our Twitter, our TikToks, our Telegram, and we'll constantly be posting up there as well. Yep. I think you're on mute. Oh, we can't hear you, Juliana. You might be on mute. There you go.
Thank you, Lisa. All right. One thing I want to tell you guys is that you have to have a plan, right? So we had a video, a while back about exit strategy. When do you sell your cryptocurrency? You must know when you want to sell, right? So we had a video about, when you want to sell. You look at that, we talk about, are you long term, are you pattern trader, are you pie chart strategy, right? So I told you guys how, myself and Isa over here, we use the pie chart strategy, right? So you have some some money reserved for long term, right? You got into Cardano, we got into Cardano, a low price. We're, ESA got in at the IOTA at a low price. We have been staking those, so we've been getting rewards, every month on this cryptocurrency. But we have a plan, right? We reserve some cash to short term. When you hit specific targets, we exit. So we are having plans of when are we going to exit the market, when we're going to the bull market, because we never know exactly when the bull market is going to end, because the institutions and the whales do manipulate, and that they make our, they kind of got into our brains so that we cannot find out exactly when this happened, because we are kind of manipulated by these big whales, right? So having a plan of, when are you going to exit, what are you going to do with your holdings, right? It is very important. Okay. So I do appreciate you guys watching our videos, and exactly what we are looking into it, right? You saw here from the Bitcoin chart, right? So if we hold it, we start buying, for example, 2023 or probably in May 2024, that is a very good time to start buying Bitcoin, and then you probably can hold it for 1 year, and you're going to have the maximum return for your money, right? So now one thing that you're gonna cautious about it, right? You can see here that I highlighted on this part over here that there's that worldwide event, right? So there are unpredictable events that happen in the world. We're going to a war right now, right? We don't know what the outcome is going to be, but last year or in 2020 we had the coronavirus, right? So if you see what happens with Bitcoin, so Bitcoin basically tanked within 2 weeks, about 50%, right? So you still have unpredictable events that will take a lot of our money. So if you play if you kind of do historical analysis like we just done over here, and we show it to you the best times, you have the best probability for success. Another thing that I'd like to point out is that, and I think that's something I talked to you about, right? So it's very likely that we had about 800% rise on Bitcoin, and it's likely that the next time around we're going to have probably like 500% or so to reach about $100,000, right? So is it better to buy Bitcoin the next time around, or is it better to buy some altcoins, right? So I think we did some analysis here on Ethereum, for example, and during and the last halving, if we follow the Bitcoin patterns, right? So altcoins in general gave a much better return, right? So you can see here that on the last halving or the second halving, Ethereum had a 20,000% return, right? While Bitcoin had a 1,000. And then on the last or on the current the third halving, Bitcoin gave us, about 800% return, while Ethereum gave us a 5,000%, right? So altcoins is still probably the best one, and I think what I have learned from this bull market is that if you want to get a 10x or 20x, you gotta look at what the masses are talking about. And this time around, Dogecoin, Shiba, SafeMoon, all this crap or all this shit coin returned the most. Ethan, what is your thoughts?
Yeah, I think those shit coins are okay for a short term, real in and out, but long term, you want to look at what Giuliano's saying, like Ethereum, ADA. I mean, these are technology companies, so think about them like what solution are they solving? Don't think about them as a currency, because that's where people get lost and they just think, well, I don't spend this on a daily basis, so how could it go up? But if you look at all the coins that are solving a problem like Bitcoin, Ethereum, IOTA, ADA, eventually those will continue to rise. It's just going to take time, like those cycles are playing out. And another thing you want to look at on Bitcoin is the moving averages. So I believe we just broke down below the 50-day moving average, but you want to look at the 10-day, the 20-day, the 50-day, the 100-day, and the 200-day. And as you're going down in a bear cycle, as it reaches that 200-day moving average, that is usually where most bulls will capitulate, and there should be a turnaround after that. But it's unpredictable. That's why you just got to keep watching it.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Isa, for your thoughts, guys. And I really appreciate that your time today. Hopefully, you have gained something from our video today. And as always, make sure that you subscribe, and share our videos. That's a great way to support our channel. Hopefully, this was very informational to you, as this has been to us, right? Our video has helped you and it has helped us as well to visualize and how to invest better. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you.